Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You're here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarlane. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I have to say I'm especially good today because it is a 60-ish degree, sunny, beautiful day. So I've kind of pivoted my whole day around the weather, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is the work break. I sort of was on a little bit of a break the last couple of hours. I went for a jog out in the sun, sat outside of the sun, and I blew off going to the grocery store because it was too nice.
Oh, wow.
I dialed up some Instacart, which just showed up. So, yeah, I'm taking advantage because I'm sort of in this state of what today is December 3rd.
December 3rd.
I'm in this mode of like, okay, this could be the last sunny, beautiful day for a while. And I know that's probably not true where I live, but I still sometimes feel that way. So I was taking advantage of it just a bit today, I must admit.
So do you miss the snow in New York, in upstate New York, or are you good without it?
I do not miss it. I do not miss one bit of it. It's not even so much the snow, which can be really awful.
Right.
What I don't miss is that April 3rd day when it's still 31 degrees and freezing rain, and it's April. That's really the worst part of it. You know, when you live in a place like that in Western New York, you're buying into, okay, a lot of snow, January, February, it's going to be a little rough, but it persists so long into what should be sort of spring, right? That's really what's the killer. And you haven't seen the sun in like 127 days. That was the killer up there. So hopefully our friends, in fact, I'm wearing our hat from our friends at Paychex, most of whom, at least a lot of the folks we work with, are up in Western New York. So shout out to them. I hope they're doing well. I have no idea what the weather is up there. I don't check it anymore, but
I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is like there, but I saw on the news yesterday that our friends in Cleveland got dumped on. So Frank and Tammy Zupan, I mean, I'm sure that there are other people up there who are it was like 2 feet of snow overnight. So.
But I'm convinced though, Trish, I'm going to continue. Like, I'm in North Carolina now, which it's been good. I'm going to keep moving south. I'm going to end up like right on the equator. That's my goal. Whatever country the equator goes through, I should probably look that up. That's where I'm heading.
I'll tell you what, I'm in Colorado right now. There is snow in places, obviously, but beautiful sunny day. So cold, sunny, it's great.
So Trish, I have something I wanted to. Can I complain a bit or just kind of rant? Can we do a ranting show?
It is. We can do a ranting show if you would like. But okay. I have a good item I read later, so not all.
Right. I'll start with a slight ranty one. So I've gotten a few emails in the last few days, and I expect you probably have too, from different folks who are compiling their 2021 predictions articles, whether they're for work, the workplace, for HR tech, you name it, right? And they often these pieces like solicit contributions or points of view from people in the space or in the industry. I get asked about this a lot. I'm sure you do too. I've never really liked participating in them because I think they're kind of dumb. But can we just say this? Because not one single 2020 predictions piece of any kind written by anybody was even close to what actually has happened in 2020. No one had it. No one was on it. No one had pandemic. No one had lockdowns. No one had quarantine. No one had everybody working from home. No one had Zoom is the most downloaded app in the Apple Store. No one had any of that. Everyone got it wrong. Every single one was completely wrong.
And that makes you happy?
I want to put to bed forever the predictions pieces. We shouldn't do them for 2021. We shouldn't do them for 2022. We shouldn't do them forever. Because they're all wrong. There you go. There's
I agree with you. I've agreed with you for years. So my approach has always been more of a theme for the coming year, which I always base on the Tournament of Roses parade theme for the year.
Do we know what that is yet for this year? I haven't seen it.
I don't. And in fact, I don't even know if they're having it.
Have a parade. Maybe that's the theme.
I need to look into that. But I will disagree just a slight bit on the word trends, because I do think that actual researchers who are doing trends pieces, those are interesting to me because they're getting the data from somewhere. And that's a little bit looking back and kind of saying like, here's what we see continuing from that, or maybe the next phase of something. That I think is okay. The pure predictions, which are, you're right, those are just like, I could make anything up and throw it out there and
they were all wrong. That's my rant. Every single one was wrong, not even close, missed everything. And so kill them. And so I'm not contributing. So nice people who've asked me, and a few people have, I will not be contributing because whatever I contribute would probably be wrong as well. So there you go.
Maybe that's your contribution, is to say, look, I think these are always wrong. It's a bunch of BS and I'm not making one.
Yeah, I don't know if they run that though. I don't think that's good for the theme of the article.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Anyway, hey, listen, this is not a rant. I read a really good story, but I wanted to ask your opinion on what you do. So there was a story recently of a man who had the local tavern, restaurant, whatever, had closed down due to COVID, due to, they were doing takeout, like many are, right? Many small businesses. And he went there and he ordered a beer, and it was $7.02, and he left a $3,000 tip to be split among the 4 workers that were there.
Okay, nice.
And of course, he doesn't want to be recognized, so they're not publishing his name. So my question is this, especially in times of the holidays, right? Especially in light of ongoing pandemic and closures and that sort of thing. Do you feel like that's something that people should be considering? Maybe not $3,000, but what would it look like if just, a normal person went and could do something nice? Would it be, going and ordering something little and giving $100 tip, or, what do you think?
It's a really good point. And, in my small gesture, I upped my Instacart delivery tip, for that. Just,
I've done the same.
Right. And I think it speaks to something a little bit bigger and perhaps even more, something maybe we don't have time to talk about on this show, or we could talk about another time, is kind of what they sort of call the K-shape kind of recovery, right? Because some people throughout this pandemic have done really well. Some companies have done really well. Lots of people have done really well. It's tended to be people who were kind of doing well before it all hit, right? Knowledge workers, people who could easily work from home, right?
Sure.
Right. Whereas a lot of people who are really struggling, a lot of the industries that closed down, the retail shops, the bars, like you said, the hotels, lots of people making less, right? Close to minimum wage or relatively lower hourly workers put out, furloughed, laid off, et cetera. So this idea that some people are doing really, really well and lots of people are doing poorly, and it's really bifurcated, which is kind of awful. So yeah, I'd agree with you, Trish. If you've managed to come through this 9 months into this, and you've got, you've kept your job, you've worked from home, you're still hanging in there. Plus the fact that a lot of those people, Trish, they've spent like so much less money than they normally spend in a normal year. They're not going out. They're not taking vacations. They're just doing less stuff. I talked to someone today who's kind of one of those people in that space, right? Who's kept their job the whole time. And they said, Mom, I'm saving so much money because we don't do anything. I had a $10,000 European vacation I had to cancel, right? And I got the money back for it. So like, if you're in that kind of situation and you can spread around $100 here, $200 there to people who are working in retail or working in restaurants, yeah, that's an awesome thing to do. I think that's great.
Yeah, I love that. And I always love the stories this time of year of people who go to maybe stores that still do layaway for holiday items, that sort of thing, paying secretly for someone's layaway items or giving a good chunk on there, or anyway, it's, so it's December 3rd. I thought it'd be a good time to mention that and think about maybe a way that we could help out. It's tough for everybody though. I mean, everybody's struggling in some way, shape, or form. So maybe it is just $5 extra here or there, but
yeah.
Good to give back.
I have one more item I wanted to bring up today, because I know this is something you will resonate with you a little bit, because I have been in a couple of times as we've been in different conferences and et cetera, et cetera. We've been in this store, which is the store known as Supreme, right? The fashion brand known as Supreme. I think I've been with you in a couple of Supreme stores.
We are Supreme fans here in my house.
You've bought some Supreme gear for your children over the years?
Too much.
So here's an interesting thing that's happening. A 21-year-old from Canada, Trish, has collected every Supreme t-shirt that's got the brand in the box on the t-shirt. Not every Supreme t-shirt ever made, just the ones that have the logo in the box. Okay. He's collected every single one of those t-shirts that was issued between 1994 and this year, 2020.
Wow.
253 total shirts, okay, in the collection. He's got all of them. And some of them were only issued, like there were only 10 of them made or 30 of them made, like back in the day. Somehow this kid has managed to collect them all. The collection of shirts, Trish, is going up at auction soon at Christie's auction house, Trish. What do you think a collection of 253 Supreme t-shirts from 1994 to 2020 is estimated to fetch at auction?
Close to 500,000.
That's close-ish. It's estimated to fetch upwards of $2 million for the collection of Supreme t-shirts, because he managed to get this full collection, which it's certain no one else in the world has managed to do, especially because some of the earlier shirts were released in such limited editions, and even the more modern ones are still
even now they still are very limited.
Kind of tough to get, right? You've got to be
very tough to get.
The article I read didn't say how much this guy has spent along the way himself to get the collection. It's certainly not, just retail price for all of them. He's probably had to get some of them on the secondary market, but $2 million worth of Supreme t-shirts, Trish. So have your kids hold on to those shirts, I guess. That's really why I brought this up.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting because I didn't know Supreme had been around that long. I know that a t-shirt now is about $50, some are more. So yeah, even conservatively saying $50 a piece, I mean, that's a lot of money. And then also, I will tell you this, whatever you buy at Supreme, even right now, I bought Jack a hoodie last month, or in October. I went to the Supreme store in San Francisco, made my little appointment. I was the only person in there. It was great. And I mean, I could go and probably sell that right now for 4 or 5 times what I paid for that shirt.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a moneymaker. But then the problem is the kids like him. Like Jack loves his stuff. He would never part with it.
Yeah, but at some point, right, maybe the trends change a little bit, or they grow out of it. Like, he might get bigger and the shirt doesn't even fit him anymore, right? So
well, I've had that happen too. So his Supreme shirts from Barcelona, Spain do not fit any longer. But guess what? They fit his twin sister.
Okay. Well, there's a secondary market out there for pretty much everything, including old Supreme t-shirts. So keep an eye on that. That's it. So.
Well, good stuff. Hey, thanks for taking a break with me today. I definitely needed it. I don't know if you can tell, I have a cold, I think, and it is not COVID. I've been very careful, but I think I got a little cold for the first time. I haven't been sick since January. Not at all. Have you been sick at all since January? Like not feeling well?
I don't know if anyone cares, but when we've talked about a couple times on the show that we did the last business trip we did before the lockdown, was it back in March? We went to the Ultimate Software at the time event. I came back from that and was sick, and may or may not had COVID. I couldn't get a test. I went to the urgent care, blah, blah, blah. I felt awful for about a week, but I still don't know if I had it or not. But that was the last time I was sick.
Yeah, I feel like all this mask wearing has really prevented me from getting anything. And now I'm like pondering, like, how in the world did I even get a cold? No one around me has a cold. No one.
So here's the thing, though, with the pandemic, it doesn't stop like the normal cold thing from going on, or people getting arthritis, or people having heart attacks, right? Because we don't talk about it at all, right? But all those things still happen. They didn't stop, right?
Right. But the problem is that, number one, if you start having any symptoms at all, the first thing in my head was, oh my gosh, do I have COVID? Which now a day or two into it, I know I don't. But if I were to go out to a store or something and happen to have I have the tiniest little cough. I mean, oh my God,
that's right.
if I coughed in public, people would freak out. So
yeah, don't do that.
All right. Hey, listen, thanks everyone for listening and watching. As always, hit us up. Tell us how you like Steve's Santa Claus beard. What's going on with that? And give us any show ideas. We keep up to date on all the things you're suggesting, and we will be back here tomorrow to talk again. Bye for now.